Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bar Shem Yahweh Shai, Bar Shem Ha Rakar Kadash. Double honors unto your apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. It's a news and prophecy video. This is an article from screenshotmagazine.com, and the title reads microchipping where it's at. Microchipping, where it's at and why it still hasn't gotten under our skin. Okay, so I'm going to get straight into it. Some of you might not remember, but August 2017 was definitely microchipping's breakthrough. Wisconsin-based company Free Square Market had lined up its employees in its cafeteria to be implanted with microchips. Just after that, the news named the event the Chipping Party and bombarded us with futuristic tales of cashless payments and phoneless calls. We were all going to be transhuman, all right? From the looks of that's how they made it look. Back to 2019, and most of us are still microchip free. So why are microchips still not the norm? Let's start with the obvious. The idea of living with a chip under your skin, potentially monitoring your every move, is not one that is easy to accept. After the famous Chipping Party, religious groups panicked, convinced that the small implants, all right, actually mark people with the mark of the beast. Now, you see this word here, this word they used to describe the chip, small implants. That's the play on the mind of the people that this small thing can be such a great deal. It don't believe it, basically. All right, and accuse the Free Square Market of being the Antichrist. Now, technically, they are the Antichrist. They're of the Antichrist, but they ain't the Antichrist, right? Because if you read the Bible, you understand anything about the Antichrist. You basically understand that. Oh my days. So. Okay, this is 1 John 2:18. Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard, that Antichrist shall come. All right, that Antichrist shall come. Even now there are many Antichrists. All right, whereby we know that it is the last time. All right, the reason why we know there's many Antichrists in the world is because why? Man, I'm butchering this, man. 1 John 4:3. Or I'll finish there, but I'll start from the top. So it's 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they be of Yahweh. All right, and that's why whilst I'm reading this article, I highlighted the fact that it says small. All right, because I'm utilizing the filter that has been given to me through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem El Shai, Ba'ashem Ha Rakar Kadash, through the apostles of Great Millstone are worthy of double honors, and the men that are all over the globe teaching this word that have basically, labored and had an input in the understanding that I have, man. So when they say little things and when I'm going through it, I'm using a filter. I'm picking out the bones to see where they are talking crap, basically, right? So, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they be of Yahweh, because many false prophets have gone out into the world, right? Many, right? Because we're in a time of little faith, as it tells you in the book of Esdras. Hereby know ye the spirit of Yahweh. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahweh Shai Mashiach is come in the flesh is of Yahweh. Now you can have people that will confess, yeah, Jesus, blood of Jesus and Jesus, but the way you really know that Yahweh Shai come in the flesh is you'll know him by, you know a man by his deeds, more or less, all right? So they have to confess it true to the letter, being that Yahweh Shai is his name, not Jesus Christ. His true name is Yahweh Shai, and his true image, all right, written in the word, that is that of a dark-skinned man, a so-called black man, is what it'd be called today, with woolly hair and dark skin. Right, that's how you know that they would be confessing the true Yahweh Shai. Verse 3, and every spirit that confesseth not that Yahweh Shai Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And this is the spirit of the Antichrist. Right, so if they don't confess or believe or fall in tune with the true understanding of Yahweh B'Shem El Shai, they are of the Antichrist. That's why there's many Antichrists in the earth. Right, right. Whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world, and it is in the world. So let's proceed back to this word. So we understand what the Antichrist is. Antichrist basically being against Yahweh Shai. While this sounded highly probable, more rational worries have since then been stated and proved right. So they said, they're actually saying, look, it kind of sounds like it's true, but there's more rational problems to worry about that have been stated and proved right. All right. So they're basically, they're on the fence. Okay, mixing right with wrong, more or less. All right. Saying it could be, but we're not sure because we've got to worry about more pressing things, which, as you read through the article, is not it falls in line with it being the mark of the beast. All right. Those things don't matter that are being mentioned because they fall under, quote unquote, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. All right. Microchip implants are similar to the ones we started putting under livestock and our pet skin. In other words, the tiny barcodes have been around for a while. All right. And they have been around for a while, but you don't know that the full implementation of the RFID chip, the barcode without the RFID chip was really the total manifestation of the RFID chip in its purest form, in its complete form. Sorry, all right, because the barcode is basically the sci-fi stigma, which is the 666, which is shown by the barcode. When you check out any barcode, is it you and no, it's not you and so yeah, when you check out any barcode, these the two outside digits and the one in the middle represents 6. All right, so that's 3 6s basically, and then on the RFID chip, which goes into your skin, it makes it what the RFID chip being the mark of the beast. Okay, so let's read. Microchip implants are similar to the ones we've started putting under livestock and our pet skin. In other words, the tiny barcodes have been around for a while. Kevin Warwick, a professor of cybernetics at Reading University, had already implanted a chip in his hand by 1998. Warwick wanted to show the world that it was doable, but also that microchip was the future to him. Fusing technology with our bodies had been the next big step. He obviously didn't take data breaches or exploitation of labor into consideration. So far, the few people that have been microchipped are digital savvy people from wealthy countries. Well-educated Swedes, chips and beer evenings were quite big in Stockholm. Do not make up the world's population. talking to The Guardian, Urs Gasser, executive director at Harvard's Berkman Klein Center for the Internet and Society, made a very valid point about the way people reacted to the chipping party, stating that seeing employees get implanted at the workplace made people question what it means to be an employee. After, are you a person being paid for your work, or are you property of the company for your work you work for? These implants probably weren't the mark of the beast, but they definitely reminded us of the dystopian novel 1989. You see, he's chopping and changing, because before, or whoever wrote this article is saying, it's highly probable before. Now it's saying, now this person is saying that these implants probably weren't the mark of the beast. So it's going from one point to another. So what is it? Is it a higher chance that they are the mark of the beast, or is it a low chance of the mark of the beast? Okay. So it's playing into the minds of the people to confuse them, to basically, when they bringing the RFID chip, all of this doubt is thrown out the window, right? Which we're gonna get to. But they definitely reminded us of the dystopian novel 1984, right? So taking the RFID chip reminded them of 1984. Now, what was the movie 1984? What was it like? Let's pull that up real quick, man. Right, you got the movie, and this was a synopsis, or a brief summary of what the movie was about. All right, made by George Orwell. All right, so let's read it. A man loses his identity while living under a repressive regime in a story based on George Orwell's classic novel. Winston Smith John Hurt is a government employee whose job involves a rewriting of history in a manner that casts his fictional country's leaders in a charitable light. His trius with Julia Susanna Hamilton provided only measure of enjoyment, but lawmakers frown on the relationship. And in this closely monitored society, there is no escape from Big Brother. All right. So let's go back to this article. What did it say? It says, these implants probably weren't the mark of the beast, but they definitely remind us of the dystopian novel 1984. So it's saying they don't remind you of the mark of the beast, but it reminds you of 1984. Now, the movie 1984 is about what? Total control. They can't do nothing, say nothing, whatever they're under total control of the government. All right. Now, the RFID chip, as we know, being that mark of the beast. What is it? What is there separation between the RFID chips, control over a person, that to that of is there a difference between RFID chip controlling or playing into Big Brother's total control? Is there a difference between that and 1984, the RFID chip? No. Okay, and we're going to show you that. Revelations 13-16. He calls it all, it's talking about the beast known as with the 7 heads and 10 horns, being NATO and the EU, okay? And 7 heads being Slovakia. 7 heads and 10 horns being NATO and the EU, okay? So, and that's the beast. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So that sounds like total control to me, that everyone has to bow down, no matter what class level, what class or standing you have in society. You have to take a RFID chip inside of your body, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you can't basically live in a society. You ain't able to survive. You have a thing known that Esau not called Maslow's hierarchy of laws or needs, sorry. and at the bottom is breathing and eating and sleep. All right, so he's saying you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have the mark. So you basically the base of that pyramid of Maslow's needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is eating. One of them. All right. So if you can't buy no food, that means you can't live. That means you basically have to die. All right. And that's basically where it is. Because if you don't take it, they're gonna basically behead you, man. Right.
And deceive of them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword.
Oh, there it is. It's lucky. So yeah. So it's the same thing, all right? So this shows you, these articles, they're trying to sow confusion, all right? But if you have the light of the Lord within your mind, you'll be fully turned on. And that's how you got to be in these last days, man. Because everything is Esau has out here to trick you into falling into, the wayside, basically, and getting caught up in this hell. The implications that microchipping technology brings with itself are exactly what stops us from getting them. Having a chip under our skin equals increased worker surveillance for most. And more recently, it could also mean that data collection methods could go up a notch. Something that we clearly don't need while Facebook is still around, right? So they're worrying about the fact that you're going to be watched every minute, everywhere you go. Hey, yeah, I get that. But this is for you that are of the faith and that believe the far pressing matter. Because they said there's more rational things to worry about. Nah, this is the most rational thing you could ever think about, man. This scripture here, Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast, all right, basically worshiping is to, basically bow and lick the hand, like a dog would lick the hand of his master. And his image, image is represented, for example, statues, laws, all right. A statue is a law, is an image, right? And it's likened onto the same thing. The following of an image is a following of the culture, the law, the lifestyle of the beast, right? Which is basically more or less do as thou wilt, do everything against the word. Okay, so it says, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. So if you take that chip, you're gonna be part of the fire of a lake of fire, which and you're gonna be seen before the elect and all the angels in the heaven and Yahweh Shai in that day, and that's going to be spoke of as Egypt spoke of to this day, right? Which is basically, as it tells you in Jeremiah the 16th chapter, that there'll be a new holy day, and that will be this day, all right? So that's why, again, in Daniel's it tells you that, some, had their head down in shame, right? Because they basically had a part in the lake of fire, all right? So let's go back to this article. That's the rational approach that you can take, is keeping that scripture in your mind. After all, microchips can surveil us non-stop and monitor us wherever we go. Remember the nightmare that was Snapchat map, when all your Snapchat contacts could see where you were at any time of the day? Imagine this with microchips, only this time we won't be able to turn off its signal. The same kind of concerns have recently been raised by lawmakers in the U.S. The state of Arkansas, New Jersey, and Tennessee have started drafting new bills to make involuntary microchipping illegal, while Nevada has already passed its own version of the bill. The message is, feel free to microchip yourself if you want, but don't force anyone to do it the same. Especially if they're your employees. And yet the surveillance tech still is a big issue in the US, with companies forcing their employees to wear an Apple Watch constantly to monitor their health. That's the Cockney coming out. Monitor their health. There doesn't seem to be that much difference between this and microchips, all right? And there really ain't. All right. Now, even the fact they said there's lawmakers coming out and saying, that you're not allowed to just make anyone do it. This is martial law in the Wikipedia page for martial law in the United States, and I want to jump down to the second chapter, and it reads: the martial law concept in the United States is closely tied with the right of habeas corpus. All right. And let me click this so we can see what it means. It comes from habeas corpus, comes from medieval Latin, meaning we a court command that you have the body of the detainee brought before us, is a recourse in law through which a person can report an unlawful detention of imprisonment to a court and request that the court order the custodian of the person, usually a prison official, to bring the prisoner to court to determine whether detention is lawful. So basically, your right to a trial, to basically, if you feel that you've been wrongfully imprisoned, unlawfully imprisoned against your right as a human being, so to speak, you can contest that in a court of law. So let's read this again. The martial law concept in the United States is closely tied with the right of habeas corpus, which is in essence the right to a hearing on lawful imprisonment, or more broadly, the supervision of law enforcement by the judiciary. The ability to suspend habeas corpus is related to the imposition of martial law. Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution states the privilege of the right of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless, when in cases of rebellion or invasion, the public safety may require it. There have been many instances of the use of the military within the borders of the United States, such as during the Whiskey Rebellion in the South during the Civil Rights Movement. But these acts are not tantamount to a declaration of martial law. The distinction must be made as clear as that between martial law and military justice. Deployment of troops does not necessarily mean the civil courts cannot function, and that is one of the keys, as the Supreme Court noted, to martial law. So imagine if you have an event that basically makes it to the point where martial law has to be implemented. That means that you could be chipped against your will. Okay, you could be imprisoned if you don't want to receive an RFID chip, for example, that they want to keep a tally of everyone to make sure that everyone's safe, as they would say. They say you need this RFID chip, and if you don't take it, you're going to go into prison, right? You ain't got right to habeas corpus because martial law is in order, all right? So all this right to choose, all it takes is the right strings to be pulled, and you're going to have to take the chip or face death, basically, all right? To try and look at microchipping under a different light than this ethically problematic one, Screenshot spoke to Johan Osterland, founder of and CEO of the microchipping company Biohacks and body piercing professional that microchipped the lucky employees who attended 2017's chippings party. Osterland, like many others, can ignore the risk that microchips could entail, but for him, it's part of a good thing that they're scared of microchips while they're on Facebook on their smartphones logged into their Google accounts. So I can't really take it seriously. You can put your fucking phone down. Excuse me, man. This is ridiculous, man. And you know what? A lot of people don't have no sense. So they'll be like, oh yeah, that's true. It's no different. So I can really take that seriously. So I can't really take that seriously. I wouldn't want people to blindly accept any kind of new technologies because they would be repeating the same mistakes again. If people are scared, it's good. They get informed and they're not afraid anymore. Right? Also learn further this point by pinpointing that many benefits that microchips could bring to adapters such as health-related tracking. You could get all your information you need about your heart rate patterns, your sleeping patterns, your blood oxygenation, and breathing patterns, and all these things you can do analogly and analog. You know what I mean? Like old school. Count how many breaths you breathe in 1 second and you know how fast your heart's beating. Come on, bruv. Ain't that deep. If you really need to have a blood test, because you're ill, then you're gonna go to the doctors, mate. You don't need no RFID chip for that. According to him, most of the time these bloody doctors as well, they get everything wrong, man. You go to them and they go, well, we don't know what's wrong with you. According to him, most of us react that way to microchips because of the small body modification they come with. What needs to be changed for them to be 100% safe are the regulations that have been proven to be already problematic, even without most of us having a chip implant. Instead of panicking about microchips, our attention should be focused on demanding stronger labor regulations and data protection laws, such as Europe's General Data Protection Regulation. In other words, don't shoot the messenger. Microchips could be our society's game changer. The only question is, are we ready for that change? That's a question for y'all, man. You ready for that change? And I'm gonna leave with this one scripture, and then wrap up this video. It's Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Isaiah 33:6 tells you that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of thy salvation. You need to read this word, you need to watch the videos, you need to gain understanding, and you need to filter everything. Everything the apostles give you is basically a skill set, a toolkit of skills to basically go forth into the world and utilize them to, get past all these obstacles that would ultimately fall in a shortcoming of your faith, basically, if you don't utilize them true to the letter of this precept, which I'll read again. Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing, is the first thing. Principal meaning first, okay? It's the first thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all that getting, get understanding. How do you get wisdom? You learn of wisdom, all right? You learn of it. So, for example, you learn of wisdom. For example, you're not meant to eat pork. So, you're not meant to eat pork. The faith should be like, man, I ain't eating that shit because the Lord said not to eat it. Then more so through labor or as it tells you, study to show thyself approved, you'll find out that, pork causes cancer, as well as the fact, the how unclean the animal is, all right? It doesn't have no sweat glands. That's why pork tastes so salty and like it tastes like salt, basically, because it's not sweating out all the toxins. And also, a pig will eat anything, all right? It rolls around in excrement all day, man. So that's part of the understanding why you shouldn't be putting something like that into your body, all right? And that goes for everything. You should have a critical thought process whenever you come across any form of information, man. You should be critiquing it. Even anything I say, man. Any brothers that teach you anything, you should be critiquing it. It tells you that in Micah, man. Trust you, not in a guide. You gotta filter everything for yourself, right? If something is said, you have to go and get the understanding for yourself, because it says studies show thyself approved. A workman be ashamed of. Basically, a workman shouldn't be ashamed. And the other scripture, man, that made me forget the other scripture I was gonna say. Damn. But that's the main thing, man. You gotta be on point for yourself.